So today's session is basically what I came here to discuss with you about the communication system, the subject that my preparation strategy or what should be an ideal approach of how you deal with the subject. So I will be presenting you the slides one by one, and after two slides or after one slide, I will be opening. You can question me whatever you have doubts you have regarding whatever I have told or anything you want to ask me. So like this, we will have this session. All right. So good evening once again, and let's first go through the. So communication systems is one of the, I believe, the most important subject of GATE paper because the average weightage of the subject is around 8 to 10 marks. So that means you have to face at least 6 questions from this in one subject. So six number of questions you have to face from communication systems, and the questions, the difficulty level of these questions, I believe they are from the easy questions as well as some tough questions. So both type of questions come from this section. And let's go through the syllabus first. So this is the official syllabus of the GATE examination. Means whatever paper you will be appearing or from the institute. So this is the paper. Then this is the paper you have to. These are the syllabus. So everyone, can you hear me? 1 minute. Please confirm in the chat once again. So if you can hear me or not. So what I told that once I will be covering one page, you can or two page. I will be saying you that yes, you can ask me questions, and then you can chat in the chat box. You can write all your questions, and I will be answering accordingly. So one or two slides, and you will be asking questions like this. Way we will go. Okay. So in GATE, the four sections, the communication system, the whole subject is divided into four sections: random process, analog communication, digital communication, and error detection, that fundamentals of error. So random process, this is the most basic and important portion of the syllabus of the subject. Means what I mean by most basic, that in the random process you have to know the basic things. So what are the basic properties of a random signal? A signal, what we all know, a signal is definitely like a sine wave, a square wave. This can be a signal, but not all signals are we get in a definite form or a definite pattern. A signal can be a random process, means it can assume a distribution, and so random process is basically linked with probability. So random process basically linked with probability. So for random process, what you need to understand is the basic knowledge of probability, like what is a probability, what is probability distribution function, probability density function, CDF, and everything like things of probability, the properties of a probability function. These things you have to write in the random process. No, the first important thing of random process which we will be getting. So this is the that is autocorrelation and power spectral density. Then you have to learn the properties of white noise, and then there are some filtering operations of random signals which through LTI systems. So this is one of the important. So these are the three topics. Like whenever you will be approaching a GATE syllabus, or whenever you will be studying a particular subject, do I will suggest that just go through the topics. Like what topic is mentioned in the syllabus? Autocorrelation and power spectral density means the question which you will be getting in your exam will be based on this. They will be asking questions which will involve the concept of autocorrelation, which will involve the concept of power spectral density. It is not necessary that you will get a direct questions of autocorrelation, but a question which for solving you need the concept of autocorrelation. So these are three random processes, and this is the first this is the first topic which you need to learn, because whenever you will learn the random process, you will get an overview of a random signal which on which operations will be performed in the later part of the subject. Now the second topic for us will be analog communication. So what is analog communication? It will be basically an analog signal will be given. An analog signal will be given, and there you will have to either amplitude modulation or angle modulation. So these are the main two portions. Either the signal will be amplitude modulated or the signal will be angle modulated. From here, you have to learn there are both the things. formula plus numericals. Both formula and numericals you have is the main important of this question. Is the question whatever in the GATE exam, if you see the previous year trend, all questions of this another communication, either you have to know the formula or you have to know the method of how to approach a question. So these 2 points, if you know, like whenever you will be preparing your subject, if you know both the things, like how, like what questions can come, like what are the properties or what are the formulas that are involved in a particular topic. Suppose amplitude modulation, you have to know the basic signal, like what is the amplitude modulated signal, does the signal looks like. Then from the signal, there are various properties like modulation index, efficiency, total power, sideband power, and everything. Like similar this type of properties, you have to learn it. Because in case, suppose you are given a question, what is the efficiency of the signal? So you can definitely answer, you can definitely just write the formula, place the values, and solve it. Right. Similarly, for angle modulation, also your approach has to be the same. You have to know the formula that how an angle modulated signal looks like. And if you know the signal, then only you can, from that signal, you can identify with the original signal. Like in example, suppose you are given a signal xt is equal to dash. Some signal is given. Now, if you compare that signal with the standard signal, then you can realize, okay, so this signal is an angle modulated signal. And you can then solve accordingly, like, okay, so I have to use the concept of angle modulation. And then you will be solving. Similarly, then there is you have to learn about the spectra of AM and FM. The spectrum of AM and FM is very simple, like in the frequency domain, how does an angle modulated and frequency modulated signal looks like? Then the physics. And then another important topic which I think people sometimes ignore, but this is the topic which you have to take care. That is super heterodyne receivers. This it is more of a formula based. So if you learn the formulas of, if you know the formulas of super heterodyne receivers, that what are the formulas involved of intermediate frequency, image frequency, then how does that local oscillator tuning. If you know these concepts, you will definitely, the question whatever that comes you can solve, and easy marks can be from there. Any questions regarding this two, if you want me to ask in the chat box? Yes, Shahib, please. How do we solve all the problems using mathematical approach? For example, the solutions can refer into using the mathematical approach. Suppose you are given a question to find a value. So for that you have to use the mathematical approach. Yes, I am. I think you are asking about the questions like where the signals are suppose amplitude modulated or angle modulated. You are drawing the spectrums and finally you are finding the answer. Right? Am I right, Shahib? Okay, yes. See, if you can solve a question by drawing the spectrum, and if the question is getting solved in that manner accurately, then I think you have there is no worries. Like you can go with that method. But there are some questions where you have to use the formulas. Means suppose I am for formulas, which type questions I am saying? Like suppose you are given a signal. You are given a signal and they didn't say it in that question that whether the signal is angle modulated or amplitude modulated. They just saying that the signal is a modulated signal. So for that you have to identify the what type of signal it is given in the question. You have to know the basic equation or the basic formula of that signal. Like what is the signal looks like. Right. Am I clear? Getting clear or okay? So for mathematical approach, see, whenever you are drawing a frequency spectrum, that is also you are doing some mathematics in it, right? But if you are, but these are actually questions. Like not all signals you cannot solve every questions by drawing the spectrum, or similarly vice versa. Like all means what I'm saying. Like but there are some questions. Yes, those are actually you have to solve with spectrum because that would be more accurate. And okay, you can solve that, right? So any more question? Okay, you have another question, but those trigonometric calculations. Yes, yes, that is the reason. That sometimes the trigonometric calculations like sine of a plus b or cos of a plus b, these type of terms we don't recall the formulas. Okay. Yes, that only for those cases, yes, only then only the frequency of whenever you will be solving using the spectrum approach, it will the question will be get easier. Like you can solve it in a less number of times. Yes, you are absolutely right. Like there are some questions when it will be trigonometry calculations, but if the question is getting solved using the frequency spectrum, you should first go with that. But sometimes the questions there are some it may be a complicated one, which is very rare. But whenever it is a very complicated one, you have to make like they will force you to go into the mathematical one. Unless and all the frequency spectrum method is absolutely right. Okay, it will ease your calculations. So let's go with the next section, I guess. I don't think anyone have any questions. So the next section is the digital communication. This is one of the most important. This is one of the most important. Plus, it is a bit of tough subject. Why? Now the question may come like, why is digital communications? I'm saying that because digital communication, the questions which come from digital communication, for that you have to the approach of both numerical approach plus concept. You need both. For a particular question, 2 marks question of digital communications, you will have to apply the concept as well as you have to apply the mathematical approach. Only then you will ultimately reach to the solution. So a complete knowledge for digital communications, you have to have a complete knowledge of a topic. Only then you will be able to solve the important portions of digital communication. You have to learn the PCM. This is the most important portion from this two. Then you have to learn about the digital modulation schemes. What are from this? The most important you have to know is the constellation diagram. Okay, the constellation diagrams you have to learn from digital modulation schemes. For ASK, PSK, and FSK, the constellation diagrams, the average energy from the constellation diagram, and most importantly, what is the approach of why we are doing the constellation diagrams? Like for an amplitude modulation ASK signal, why are we representing it in a constellation diagram? What are the axes symbolizing? Indeed, you have to learn these things. Like the basic, these are the basic things. Like why are we drawing this? Why do we need the axis? What does a constellation mean actually? So you have to go through know the basic portions, and if you can know the basic portions, you can definitely solve. Like for an ASK signal, this is for a 2 array, but this ASK can be an M array signal, M array signal. So when it will be an M array signal, you can easily draw it in the constellation diagram if you know that how are we drawing the constellation. If you know the importance of constellation diagram, like how is it working, then you can draw those things with easily. So the basic idea, the constellation diagrams, you have to understand. So the understanding portions of this portion, this part have to be strong. Besides, there are formulas. So 1 second. Okay. So plus there are formulas. So you have to know the formulas also equally well. Only then, because if you if you know the formulas very well, only then some questions like they will be asking the bandwidth, the baud rate, bit rate. These type of questions you have to know the formulas. Suppose they ask a question like what is the bit rate of an MRE signal with these specific parameters. So for that, if you don't know the formula, you won't get the answer. So these type of questions is also. Then there is a something of inter-symbol interference which you have to learn. This is nothing tough. This is you have to know the concept only because what is interference, inter-symbol interference, and how like the Nyquist criteria, the Nyquist criteria of interference. You have to know for inter-symbol interference. Then the most important portion. So the most important portion is map and ML criteria. Okay, the map and ML detection. This is the thing which you have to know most important. map and ML detection, because for a digital communication, since we are sending the symbol in bits, there are questions of probability of error. This thing. So you will be studying about probability of error, and for probability of error, to estimate, have an estimation of that error, we will need the map and ML detection. These are the two different theories which you will be learning, and you have to know the application and the importance of these two detection techniques. And this is an important because these type of questions come from this question. Questions come from this question, map and ML detection. And then there you will be learning the matched filter receiver. You have to know the derivation. You have to know the derivation of the matched filter detection and the corresponding SNR and bit error. Okay. Now, digital communications, which one thing I would like to tell that the most important and the most tricky section is this number 4 and number 5, the probability of error. Questions on probability of error. While preparing, during your preparation time, you have to make a note of like, I have to know these three things. There are three types of questions which come from probability of error, and you have to know the three types from them. You cannot in examination hall, whenever you will see a question, it will you have to directly strike your mind that okay, this is the question, I will have to approach it in this method. Means over the years in the GATE examination, questions based on probability of error came among one of those three types only. So for those three types, you have to know that. So what are the three types? The first question is basically you will have to predefine some. There are some for probability of errors for different modulation schemes. Direct formula based questions you will be answering. Then the second is the probability of error using the you will be given to distributions, and from those distributions you have to estimate the probability of errors. So that is the second. And the third important portion, which is that using this map and ML detection, you will be given some array of signals, and from those array of signals using the map ML criterion, you will be have to estimate the probability of error at the receiver. So what is basically the probability of error is basically a signal is sent from transmitter. It is sent from transmitter to a receiver. So at the receiver, the accuracy of receiving a signal which was sent from, like from T, if we are sending one, and with how much accuracy or with how much probability that this one will be received at R is basically that accuracy level or that accuracy probability is basically determined using MapML. So probability of error and MapML criteria, this type of questions. And then the final version that there is the fundamentals of error decoding. These are basically where there are some straightforward questions come from this question. You have to, if you know the topic, you will be answering. If you don't know, and you can't. So I think from digital communication, these are the most important. The most important part from digital communication is probability of error and ECM. It, these two questions are sure shot questions from this will come in every year. It came and it will come because these good questions can be framed from this. So any doubts? If you have any doubts, you can write in the chat box. Hi Nikhil. So the flow of subjects, which whatever in the way I have given it here, you have to study like that. Like first random process, then analog communication, then digital communication, and then wrap up with the error detection. And similarly in digital communications also you have to study in this the first PCM and then the digital communications groups and then probability of error. So I think the sequence is only this whatever I have given it here. Whatever in the ways of it is written here, you should go in that way because random process is the basic, then do with the analog communications and then digital. Okay, Nikhil. Any questions else? Okay, so I am moving into the next slide. So here it is how to prepare a module. Like whenever you will be we will be dealing with module by module. Whenever you will be studying, I would suggest you to go with module by module. Like first start one module, complete the module, and then move on to another. So this should be the way. Like make a note in a proper way of the topic. Whatever you will be taught in the class, whatever your professor will teach you, make a proper note of it. Because these notes, making the notes will is very important, I believe. So first make a proper note of it and go through it once or twice depending on your understanding potential. That means once you make the notes, means don't just leave it. Go through it once or twice and see whether you are understanding everything in it or not. Go it once, okay, I have understood this one and these are the questions I am not understanding. Again go through it. Now see that if you are understanding it again or not. Then if, for the second one, I believe that if you go it a second time, you will be understanding at least some more of it. Like in this way, you have to go through your notes to understand whatever was taught. But I will suggest go at least 2 times after you make your note in the class. Then first you solve the previous year questions. Don't do any other questions first. First solve the only previous year questions like last 20 years or 16 years questions of GATE. Do the previous year questions first completely. Don't leave a single question. Go through the questions like whatever format your institute will be giving you. You will be solving the previous year questions first. Now when you will be solving, it is obvious that some questions you won't be able to answer. There will be some questions you can't solve. There will be many questions which you will be solving. So those which you cannot solve, while solving, try twice only. If you are not able to solve it in 2 attempts, just leave a space for the question and move on to the next. Don't get stuck to a particular question. So this will I will suggest that don't you should not get stuck to a particular question. First and in this way go all the questions. Then again come back to the marked ones. Means whenever you will be studying, so those questions which were unattempted or which you couldn't solve in the first attempt, come back to those questions. And now at first go through and see that if you can now solve it or not. If no, you go back to your notes. Because in notes, your teacher would have taught every concept. Go to your notes and see that which concept or which portion from this question. Suppose the question is from question number 1. Suppose question number 1 you have not at you couldn't solve in the first attempt. Read the question and understand the question was from which chapter first or which module. Go to that module and go through that topic and just see that what is the concept that you need to solve this question. Read it again from the notes and then come back to your copy and see if you can now solve the thing. Like whenever you will be going in your notes, you will be getting the required formulas or the required concepts or required ideas. These things you will be getting, right? So read them and come back. See if you can still solve it now or not. If you can still don't solve, then you go to your professor or maybe there you will be having a friends group for discussing questions. You can give it there, or you can go to your professor and say like, "Sir, I couldn't solve this question. Discuss it once, or I want, or suggest me how can I solve." So this should be a proper thing. Like, don't get stuck to your questions in your first attempt. Do all the questions which you can in the first, then go back to the unattempted questions. See whether you can solve those now or not. If not, first go to your notes and check that and go through your notes and see like with the material which you have in your notes you can solve it or not. If yes, you can solve. If still you can't, then go to someone else, maybe your friend, maybe your faculty, whoever you go to him and get it solved. Don't leave them unless it's relevant. This is an important thing. Like many times I saw my friends also. And whenever they solve a question, they sometimes they couldn't solve a question, they never again solves it. They kept it unsolved till the exam. Don't do it. Means at least get the solution for the question. For your professor or your friend or anywhere, you can get the solution. Because who knows, like in your exam, that question may come from that concept only. So don't leave them, because previous year questions, I believe that they are the Bible of your preparation. Because if you solve the previous year questions, every questions you will have a clear idea of what type of questions do they ask, the type of questions, the pattern of questions that are asked in GATE examination. You can easily get Yes, you can easily get to know if you solve the paper. Then write a test. Your institute will be definitely giving you a test series. Maybe during that time, write a test and see how much you are getting. How much you are getting is how much you are getting correct. Like suppose there it is a question set of 10 questions. So out of 10 questions, see how much correct questions, how much wrong questions, and how much questions you are getting silly mistakes. These analysis is more important rather than marks. Don't look at the marks like I am getting out of 10, I am getting 5, or I am getting 7, or I am getting 3. No. Check on how much you are getting correct and how much you are getting wrong. Those which you are getting correct, great. And those which you are getting wrong, just see how to solve like this way. Like the way you have done for your unattempted questions. Going to the notes, seeing what formula is needed. Or maybe there will be solutions given in the test also. So make a note of the wrong questions. And for the silly mistake questions, I will ask you to make a separate copy and have a track of the silly mistakes. Like suppose question number 5 of angle modulation, you have taken the suppose the question has given the FM in the megahertz, you have solved using a kilohertz. So make a note that I have the question was given in megahertz, I have written in kilohertz. So my error is that I haven't seen the question, the units properly. Because while writing these things, I believe that which happened to myself also, that whenever you will be writing these things, you will be having a track of what mistakes we make in subconsciousness, and these things will gradually towards your end, these things will improve for yourself. Okay, and the most important thing is giving a revision. Giving a revision. At least once a 10 days, you go through your notes. Go through your notes or maths copy or mathematics, because you have to, what I say means a division, because whenever you will be subject, suppose you are completing one subject and you are moving to a next subject. So what happens when you are studying the next subject, you are not having a track on the previous, and this means whatever effort you have made to prepare this subject, those all efforts will be lost. So yes, prepare another subject is okay, but once in 10 days, go through your notes. That's why this notes is very important, because you have to go through your notes. Not always like you will be studying line by line. Open your copy. You have already marked important formulas or important areas on underline. Just flip the pages and see. Just go through it once. Maybe how much time it will take. A complete notes 1 hour. You can give 1 hour in once a 10 days of revision of your previous subject, because this will only help you to keep a track on whatever you have learned. That yes, you will be remembering, okay, I have learned this, I have learned that, and this will help you to help you updated with the previous subjects also, along with preparation for next subject. So any questions? So if you have any questions, you can write in the chat, or else I will be moving to the next slide. Yes, Shahid, please. How do we manage internship or career with the kids? See, if you are serious, like if you are well dedicated that yes, I have to get a ranking game, I will suggest you that keep a dedicated amount of time every day for your game. Like suppose you have give 2 hours, give 3 hours, give 4 hours, as much time as you can, a fixed time every day for your activity. Like in the like you are doing an internship, and in the flow of work you are not studying for gate for a single day or 2 days, you are not studying anything related to gate. Don't do that. I will suggest that every day at least 1 to 2 hours do have a study for the gate, because if you break this link between a preparation, it will hamper your preparation. Like you have to again start from the up. What is like the momentum which you will be getting in a continuous study, those momentum will be disturbed, and that doesn't work most of the time. So yes, whenever you be doing an internship, or maybe for your gate preparation, you are supposed to be studying like 5 to 6 hours a day. But yes, when you will be internship works and you will be there will be a worker, maybe the time will be reduced. But give at least 1 to 2 hours every day. Find a time for you, like yes, from like suppose this 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. or suppose 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. These 2 hours I am free. Okay, these 2 hours I will only study for it, and the rest of the time I will dedicate it to my other works. So this would be my suggestion. Okay, thank you, Shayan. Paritosh, how to deal with silly mistakes while solving problems? See, silly mistakes mainly happens with twice, means two cases. I believe the first one is if you are doing in a what is in a fast space, like हड़बड़ाहट में जब आप करते हो एक सब्जेक्ट का प्रिपरेशन तो उसको तब सिली मिस्टेक्स होते हैं और एक होता है आपको प्रॉपर्ली चीज याद नहीं है यू आर नॉट यू डोंट रिमेम्बर दिस थिंग प्रॉपर्ली so these are the two cases of silly mistake so for the first case when you are making a silly mistake in a rush I will say that train yourself like don't rush when solving the problem okay so this is give the sweet time the problem needs to get solved. Number second, when that is the formulas, so for that again, this thing revision. The more you will be going through a formula, the more you will be going through a concept again and again, chances of forgetting it or making or the chances of getting it into a silly mistake will reduce. Like what happens in a silly mistake? When you are in a rush, you will be your silly mistake mainly happens in calculation, I believe. Like suppose you are missing a decimal digit or your 7 gates converted to 8. Suppose these types of problems happen when you are in a rush. So that will happen only if you manage your rush. Like, no, I will give my time. I will be in a stable state of mind and I will be solving. And for the formulas, I am saying again and again, the revision portion is very important. And that is why I asked you for the silly mistakes to make a note. See, silly mistakes will happen you cannot completely get rid of like you won't be making any silly mistakes this won't happen because in the exam also there will be a ticking of the clock and there will be a bit of rush in every student every year so silly mistakes everyone will commit but what your aim should be from here not to minimize it like now if you are making 10 silly mistakes at the end of the session when you will be sitting for the gate your number of silly mistakes should not be more than one or two so if that happens then only that is should be the aim like you cannot completely like मेरा कोई सिली मिस्टेक नहीं होगा ये ऐसा नहीं होता मतलब एग्जाम में हर किसी को वो जो एग्जाम का हड़बड़ाहट में हर किसी को थोड़ा बहुत होता है लेकिन आपको मिनिमाइज करना है इसलिए आपको सिली मिस्टेक्स का एक ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड रखना है और वहाँ पे और उसको भी आपको रिविजन करना है एक रेगुलर इंटरवल ताकि आपको पता आपके दिमाग में ये चलता रहे कि हाँ मुझे यहाँ पे सिली मिस्टेक हुआ है मेरा यहाँ पे मतलब इस क्वेश्चन पे मुझे सिली मिस्टेक होता है इस फॉर्मूला पे मैं सिली मिस्टेक करता हूँ मैं ये दोनों फार्मूला में मिक्सअप कर देता हूँ तो ये चीज आपको तभी वहां पे लिखा रहेगा जब आप सिली मिस्टेक के कॉपी बनाओगे तो उसमें वो सब कुछ लिखा रहेगा कि मेरा कहाँ कहाँ सिली मिस्टेक होता है और उस चीज में मतलब मैं कैसे उसको इम्प्रूव कर सकता हूँ ठीक है परितोष ओके वेलकम एंड एनी क्वेश्चंस एल्स ओके सो लेट मी मूव टू द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड so gate questions, there are the questions which come in a gate exam were either formula based or conceptual and numerical. That is the combined questions of 2 marks questions. These are mainly and typical formulas that there will be some particular derivations and the derivation results are there. So this type of questions, suppose there is a derivation of the standard deviation equation in the exam that this year came. So these are some typical formulas. Formula based direct means direct formulas like efficiency, bandwidth, bit rate. These are the basic formula based. Basic concept or idea is like initially what I was discussing of that someone is drawing the spectrum of a signal and solving. So actually that is the concept. Or there will be a concept like for a signal, if suppose when a frequency is changed, how does it happen, affect the time period, or all those things. And conceptual and numerical based questions, these are mostly from digital electronics, digital communication, sorry. So digital communication questions are mainly conceptual as well as numerical based. Like you have to first conceptually you have to frame the question and then with the numerical approach you have to get to the answer. And these are the 2 marks questions. And for MSQ, so this is the new pattern of questions which were introduced. Though in our time no MSQ questions came, but this year there is a chance of MSQ based questions. So for MSQ based question, complete idea of a topic. This is the most important thing. Like you have to know everything of a topic. Only then you can solve an MSQ. MSQ. It is a theoretical approach. For a theory, like for a theoretical question, you have to know everything of the theory. Or suppose autocorrelation. Suppose I am taking a topic of autocorrelation, and for autocorrelation there are properties 1, 2, n number of properties are there. You have to know all the properties, because from this the options which will be, suppose there are questions, the question with the properties of autocorrelation are. So you have to identify the correct options. So you have to know all the formulas. So that means a complete idea of a topic is mandatory for this question. Or there will be a numerical based. So numerical based MSQ, like for a suppose there are various parameters they will ask to find. Like for a question they will ask you to find the bandwidth, find the efficiency, find the power absorbed, all this, like this type of questions. So various parameters which we can all compute from a single question. So these are the MSQ questions. And then the next slide, that more number of NAT questions were there in GATE 21. So GATE 2021, we saw a new trend that number of NAT questions were almost equals to 30 out of 55 technical questions. Okay, so when the number of NAT questions increases, that means number of mathematical questions will be more number in number. So what is the what to do, like when this is the more mathematical questions? So what should you do in your preparation is that more number of numericals have to be solved. So once you solve the previous year questions, last you have to solve the test series, last you have to solve the workbooks. Okay, so more number of numericals means more number of resources. You will be getting everything from your institute. So the more you will be solving these things, the more number of problems you will be getting to solve. And the second important thing is more efficiency and accuracy. Efficiency means you cannot give, means what I say means enough time for solving a problem. In GATE, you have to solve a problem for 2 marks questions. You have to solve it in maximum 3 to 4 minutes. This should be your time duration. This will not come initially. Initially, suppose you are taking 6 to 8 minutes to solve a question. Now you have to convert this. Now you have to convert this to 3 to 4, and this will only come only if you practice more. The more practice, you will be getting habituated to a particular genre of question, particular type of question, and then your efficiency will get always increase. So this is the reason for efficiency and accuracy. Accuracy means getting the answer correct, not solve, because unless you get an answer correct, you won't be given any marks. So you have to be accurate with your answers equally. And what is the reason? That more practice, more tests. Tests will give you that time frame, like that every test series which will be given, they will all have a time frame, like the clock will be running and you have to solve it within that time. So more number of tests. And one thing which is I felt important to discuss, that like in the numerical type questions, look up to what decimal place they have asked the answer. Like in GATE, they ask a question like answer up to 4 decimal places or up to 1 or 2 decimal places. So do observe that and give your answer according to that decimal place only. Like if you are asking a question that IIT is asking, that find the answer up to 1 decimal place, write the answer up to 1 decimal place only. Don't write it in 2 decimal place, because for those questions they are mostly, if they do not give any range of answer, then you will not get marks. So that is a negative thing. So you always take care of what decimal places they have asked the answer and round up your answer up to that decimal place only. Okay, and the important points. So let me complete this slide and then I will take all your questions. Okay. So important points to be taken while taking a test series is try to complete all the questions which can be solved by you. Suppose there are 10 questions. Of them you can solve 6 or 7 questions. You have to get those 7 questions solved in that time. You cannot leave those 7 questions. Means out of 7 out of 10, you have to get solved. If you can have solved the 7 questions, it should be get solved. Not a single marks you should lose from these 7 questions. Okay, because they are your sure shot marks. Because these 7 questions will get you the equal marks. And make a habit of completing the test in one go. Like whenever you are sitting for a test, complete it in one go. Don't take a break or don't close the test in between. Complete the test, sit for a test, complete the test, and then on review. Because this habit you have, if you start making from now on from the starting, if you make this habit, then it will ultimately give you the benefit in your exam. Because in exam you have to sit for 3 hours. So that habit of us sitting for 30 minutes, then when you're giving the subject test 1 hour or 1 hour 30 minutes time. So this will gradually create your habit of sitting a long time, following the clock and right. And only this will be making you available. Means making you updated every time or upgrade your efficiency, upgrade your time management for exam. Questions, solve questions neatly. Like many say that in GATE exam, suppose they will give scribble facts and we don't solve neatly. We make a means what I said, they make a mess of the answer and they even put then after 2 3 questions they cannot even recollect what they have solved for the first question. So make it neat. Whenever you solve a question, solve it neatly. Write the parameter formula clean, then then place the values cleanly, and then find the answer cleanly. So like what is like a proper notes like in your home, how will be solving the questions. This should be neat. Similarly, you have to in your gate scribble. Make your handwriting smaller, maybe. But that scribble sheet should be neat because sometimes you have to revert back to your question which we have done previously. So for that, you can easily revert back and you can easily rectify your mistake for, if needed. Use gate calculator only. Don't do scientific calculators from now on. In the your Android Play Store, there will be many gate calculators apps. You can download any one of them and you can start practicing in that calculator only from now on because it's June now. So basically, you will be get 6 months. So in that 6 months, make a habit of the gate calculator. Don't do scientific calculators and do check your paper after you finish. Self-assessment is very important. Means whenever you will be giving a test, do see means do correct your own questions. Which questions you are getting wrong? Correct it. Which questions you are getting right? See whether the working formula which you have used is correct or you get a by chance a mistake, but your answer came by chance. So these things should be avoided. You check your paper that whether you have the number of correct questions, whether you have got that correct properly, and the number of and the questions which you have not got correct, that you can learn the formula again and you can solve it. Your focus should be on how much correct you are solving. The more the habit of accuracy, the marks will come. So the more the habit of accuracy, the marks will come out. So don't think of about the marks initially. Initially, focus on how much correct you are getting. The accuracy percentage, like out of 10 questions or out of 15 questions, how much correct you are getting. Because this thing is very important. Check your marks only when in the last 2 months. Check the full syllabus test and see all your marks. Don't focus on marks from the day one. From day one, focus on how much questions you are getting correct, how much questions you are getting wrong, where are your weakness, where are your strength, and work on that accordingly. And silly mistakes I have told you already, like division it, and this will be nice. So, any questions from this? Let me answer you. So you don't have any questions or like ask whatever like regarding communication systems, whatever you have asked. Have you all started reading communications or not yet? Okay, so those are started. I told you that the work done and do study in that pattern. Make notes, solve the questions, go back to your notes for to solve again the questions which you couldn't in the first, and then write the test. because this will only help you to improve yourself. Yes, Shahib. What else will you suggest other than previous year questions, as in any test series which you use during? See, in the initial test series, you will be getting topic-wise test and subject-wise test, every test series. So, whenever you use the topic-wise and test, the basic, your basic thought should be like, I have to check which means I have to check my strength and weakness of a subject. Suppose you are giving a question, this is analog communication and analog modulation, sorry, amplitude modulation and angle modulation. So what you will be seeing that yes, I am getting questions, but there is maybe a portion from angle modulation, so I am getting the question wrong. So you will be getting an idea like where means where is your weakness, right? So those test series basically your aim should be to know your strength, know your weakness, and know where the questions are making you uncomfortable. Get note of that and prepare those questions. Wherever you will be finding any weakness, prepare the questions and then you will be attempting the subject wise test. So from topic wise test, learn the mistakes and then you will be approaching the subject wise test, which will make you a subject wise test. You will be getting a broader area. A broad area means the entire subject, all the modules together you have to answer. Then again see that what are the how are you performing? Like you have to see your performance in that time. So that is the way should if your every test is should be approached. I think like every test series you will be learning, getting to learn that where are you making problem, rectify it, move to the next series. Again attempt it. See whether you have rectified your previous mistakes or not. Number one. Number two, see what the new mistakes you are getting here. Again note that. And mainly when you'll be solving test series, you'll be getting some new questions. Definitely some new questions. Try to have a track of those questions also. Like, okay, so this is something different which I haven't solved previously from any work from my workbooks or from previous year, but yes, it's a new concept question. Okay, so I will be taking care of these questions also, and you write that in your that error copy which I have to maintain. Am I clear, or do you want like am I clear to solve your doubts? Okay, so any more questions? Yes, welcome, Shahib. When should you look for solutions while you are solving? See, don't for the solutions like solutions you're talking about like when in a workbook there are solutions given. So you are asking for that, right? Paritosh? Yes, yes. Okay. So see, don't go to the solutions at first. First solve the question. And what I told, like first solve your question. There are 10 questions. Suppose there are worksheet, you are getting 10 questions. Solve question number 1 to 10. Suppose you are not able to solve 4 of them. You've got 6 of them solved. Okay. Now go to the for the 4 questions. You again go to the question first. What I am telling that if this is make it as a part of your process. Like go to the questions which you haven't solved. वो सॉल्व करते हैं तो मैं हिंदी में बोलता हूँ ये बात कि जो क्वेश्चन आपसे नहीं बना पहले दो में उस क्वेश्चन को जाओ पहले उसको देखो कि वो जो क्वेश्चन आप कर रहे हो वो क्या आपसे सॉल्व हो रहा है फिक्स मतलब सेकंड अटेम्प्ट में क्या वो क्वेश्चन आपसे सॉल्व हो रहा है चांसेस है कि आपसे सॉल्व होगा क्योंकि आप 6 क्वेश्चन ऑलरेडी पहले बना चुके हो तो 6 क्वेश्चन जब आप बना चुके हो तो ये होगा कि आपका सब्जेक्ट में कुछ तो ग्रिप आया है तो इससे होता है क्या जब आप सेकंड ये में जब आपको आपको क्लिक कर जाए वो सवाल गेट तो फिर सेकंड वो में जब आपको कोई आपको वो 4 क्वेश्चन आप जाओगे और उस क्वेश्चन में आपको कोई सोल्यूशन नहीं मिला ठीक है फिर आप क्या करोगे नोट्स में जाना सोल्यूशन पहले नहीं पहले नोट्स पे जाओ कि देखो कि मैं नोट्स से क्या नोट्स में जो कंटेंट है क्या उससे मैं सोल्यूशन निकाल पा रहा हूँ अगर उस नोट्स की चीजों से आपको सोल्यूशन मिल रहा है तो सही है तो पहले खुद से सोल्यूशन मतलब आप सोल्यूशन तब तक नहीं जाओगे जब तक आपको मतलब आपको खुद से जो अटेम्प्ट करना है वो सब अटेम्प्ट पहले आपको करना होगा क्या है, पहले खुद से सेकंड ट्राई, फिर नोट्स में जाके वहां से सॉल्यूशन, वहां से हिंट लाना कि ओके सो नोट्स में ये टॉपिक पढ़ा है, ये टॉपिक में सर ने मुझे ये पढ़ाया है, तो हाँ इससे वो सवाल बन सकता है। सवाल पे आओ, देखो सवाल बन रहा है कि नहीं। अगर अब भी नहीं बना तो आप सोल्यूशन पे जा सकते हो या आपके फैकल्टी में। तो पहले ही अगर अगर मतलब फर्स्ट को मैं क्वेश्चन कर रहे हो, आपको सवाल आ नहीं रहा है, अब डायरेक्ट सोल्यूशन में चले गए, ये नहीं करना है, ये हैबिट नहीं बनाना है। ओके, सोल्यूशन तब जाके जब आपको कहीं से कुछ आइडिया नहीं आ रहा है उस क्वेश्चन का कि ओके मैं खुद से भी नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ, नोट से देख के भी मुझे आइडिया नहीं हो रहा है, ठीक है, तब जाके आप सोल्यूशन, या एकदम एंड में हर सवाल हो जाने के बाद एक दो क्वेश्चन ऐसा हो सकता है आपके वर्कबुक में या प्रीवियस में होंगे जो आपसे एकदम ही नहीं बना, एक्सेप्शन क्वेश्चंस भी होता है कुछ ऐसा, तब आप सोल्यूशन में जाओ कि देखो अच्छा ऐसे करते हैं या ऐसे, या ठीक है। When should I check if my option is correct? Like first, after you complete a sheet, like in your workbook, suppose you are doing the previous year questions and there are 30 questions in a chapter. So तब क्या करना है आपको, पहले 10 क्वेश्चंस पहले बना लो, फिर उसके आप ऑप्शन मिला लो। मतलब ऑप्शन सॉल्यूशंस तो अलग से होते हैं, आपका ऑप्शन देखना वो तो सिर्फ एक आंसर ऑप्शन की होता है ना, वो आप चेक कर सकते हो एक क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करने के बाद कि मेरा आंसर सही। एक क्वेश्चन में नहीं करना है आपको, एक नंबर ऑफ क्वेश्चन 10 क्वेश्चन बना लो, फिर उस फिर सोल्यूशन में जाके देखो कि वो 10 सही बना है क्या गलत बना है क्या, जो भी है, ठीक है। मतलब आप एक क्वेश्चन सॉल्व कर ऑप्शन सॉल्यूशन में जाके देखना कि इसका ऑप्शन सही निकला कि नहीं, फिर दूसरा क्वेश्चन इसका ऑप्शन सही निकला कि नहीं, ऐसा नहीं करना। At least take 10 questions at a time, solve them and check the answer. This should be your, what I say, this should be your procedure, this should be your the way you should, मतलब ऐसे ही आपका एक प्रोसेस, ये आपका प्रोसेस तैयार हो जाएगा। हाँ सही है, मतलब ऐसे ही कॉन्फिडेंस देखो, आपको एक क्वेश्चन बनाने से कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं लाना होगा, आपको मोर देन वन क्वेश्चन एक साथ अगर जब आपको सही देखेगा तब आपका कॉन्फिडेंस जो आएगा वो आपको काम आएगा, मुझे ये लगता है। जैसे अगर आप एक क्वेश्चन करेक्ट बनाओगे, क्योंकि कुछ क्वेश्चन तब करेक्ट बनाओगे खुद पे ये ट्रस्ट रखो कि हाँ मैं सही बना रहा हूँ, कि मैं जब पढ़ रहा हूँ ओके मैं सही से ये क्वेश्चन सॉल्व कर रहा हूँ। इसीलिए मैंने कहा 10 क्वेश्चंस करो, 10 क्वेश्चंस फिर जाके उसका सोल्यूशन मिलो, कि अगर आपको 10 वो वह से आपको बूस्ट लाना होगा कि आप समझ रहे हो ना कि मैं क्या कह रहा हूँ, यू आर गेटिंग इट और नॉट? Yes, yes, ideally the number should be 10, 10 questions you have to take, means that will be make a process, that process will make, means you have to go into a process this 6 months, for the next 6 months of preparation, like this have to be your process for your exam, this only then you can improve yourself, like you will be getting into a habit of solving altogether, एक प्रोसेस आपका क्रिएट हो जाएगा आपके अंदर, और जो ये आपको फिर बाद में आप ये इसका इफेक्ट आप पहले दिन में नहीं देखोगे, लेकिन आप ऐसे करते करते कुछ चैप्टर्स कंप्लीट हो जाए या कुछ मॉड्यूल खत्म हो जाने के बाद आप देखोगे कि आपका परफॉर्मेंस में इंप्रूव आ रहा है। इसलिए मैं कह रहा कि सिंगल क्वेश्चंस मत देखो, एक साथ 10 सवाल लगाओ, अगर सोल्यूशन मिला फिर अगले क्वेश्चन में जाओ, फिर अगले 10, फिर अगले 10, ऐसे, ठीक है। थोड़ी तो ओके, सो एनीथिंग एल्स, एनीवन? I am, my counseling round is going on, so I have means I will go to ISC Bangalore. I have got electronic systems there, and after second round, I am waiting for microelectronics. If it gets upgraded to microelectronics, then I will study microelectronics in ISC, or else I will be going with electronic systems engineering, ESC in ISC Bangalore. Currently, I am a fourth year student, so that is next month only. Right. So, can you name the books that you refer? See, since you are studying in a since you are studying coaching, you will be getting class notes. For books, there is a book of SPOM series book. So I am writing it in the message only. तो ये जो SPOM series का जो बुक आता है, या के एनालॉग और डिजिटल कम्युनिकेशन करके एक बुक आता है, तो वहाँ पे आपको ज्यादा न्यूमेरिकल्स मिलेगा, तो आप न्यूमेरिकल्स के लिए वो बुक आप फॉलो कर सकते हो। मतलब गेट लेवल, गेट में जिस कॉन्सेप्ट और जो चीज पे क्वेश्चन आते हैं, तो उस SPOM सीरीज के बुक्स में आपको वो सब मिल जाएगा। अच्छे गुड क्वेश्चंस यू कैन गेट, अच्छे कॉन्सेप्ट्स के वाला क्वेश्चन। इसका पीडीएफ आपको मिल जाएगा, आपको नेट में जाके तो पीडीएफ मिलेगा, पीडीएफ मिल जाएगा, डाउनलोड कर लो। ओके, यू आर मोस्ट वेलकम। सो एनीथिंग एल्स? ओके, सो I think you don't have any more questions for me. So then I think I am ending the session for today. Hey guys, so this is Ratul here. Thank you for watching the video. If you like the session, do like and subscribe the channel. I will be taking such sessions like this, and if you want to catch me live, then you join the Vidyalanka Infinite app. If you have any queries or if you want to ask anything, do put your questions in the comment sections and we will definitely try to reach to you. Thank you.